All right, let's see if we're ready to present. Good afternoon. My name is Terrence White, and I am here to give you my visual literacy presentation. And I did mine on an intro to geology, how I changed my lesson from my unit from textbooks to more visual literacy. So basically, introduction is the reason for me doing this is technology. The technological boom has really exploded over the last 20 years, and we receive so much information faster than ever. So the amount of information has gone up, and the pace we get at even faster than ever. One of my favorite quotes is being a science teacher. Neil deGrasse Tyson, one of my favorite scientists, he states that scientific literacy is a vaccine against charlatans of the world that would exploit your ignorance. It's very fitting for this course. And my goal is to teach science beyond the textbook, and the interactive notebook, which I will show you later, will replace the textbook. All right, so textbook teaching versus the interactive notebook. According to the textbook we read about this year, science is the worst taught subject in K through 6. This is the worst kept secret. And visual literacy is basically understanding what we see. Is what we see. We see it. Do we understand what we are seeing? And that's a really big part of science because we have to really understand what we are seeing. And this is especially true for geology because geology is so hard to teach because it's so abstract. And it's not like we can go to the center of the earth and be like, hey, here's the center of the earth, here are the plates. And we can't go to different places in the world and observe it. So I decided to talk about the first section. The learning targets for this section are compare uniformitarianism and catastrophism. Describe how the science of geology has changed over the last 200 years. And explain the role of paleontology in the study of Earth's history. Those are the three main learning targets for this section. So the reason for changing my path of teaching from textbook to interactive notebook, more visual style of teaching, is because students come in with so many reading different levels. And in my district, math and reading are really tracked, where science, we get a hodgepodge of everybody. So we have to deal with the different reading levels. And with that, this is limited backgrounds, limited science backgrounds. So we have to really deal with that too. I used to have students just read the textbook, take notes, take quizzes, and had them doing tons of worksheets. And it was teacher led instead of student led. So this really was not as engaging as as what I'm doing now. So these are just some of the ways I increase the visual literacy in my geology unit. First thing I did was eliminate the textbook and put the readings into the interactive notebook. I went to a Google conference this summer, and Holly Clark was the keynote speaker, and she said that students are different than they were 20 years ago. Sitting in front of a textbook, that's not true science. So I decided to do that. So by putting the readings into the interactive notebook, I have them mark the text for headings. Blue is for the headings, yellow for bold words, red is for italicized words, and important people. I try to do it's purple or pink, but the color didn't come up as well, so I did this color so you guys can see it. So I want to show you. I'm going to switch screens here, and I like to show you what the interactive notebook looks like. If you take a look here on the interactive notebook, this is the cover. Throughout the unit, they are going to do visuals of what they learned about in the unit. No words are allowed on this cover. So they learn about a concept and they can visually do it. And they can draw it right on this cover. So these are just some of the table of contents. So there is also some writing inside of all of these. And these are the learning targets for the unit. And these are just some aha connections. Here, I would call vocabulary squares. Throughout the unit, they are required to do a vocab square. And these are squares that they do to visually show what they are learning about. So they start the class with this, or they do this at the end of a period when there's downtime. So these are these vocab squares. Here's some more of them right here. And this is what I mean by taking the readings out of the textbook, put into the article. What I like about this is the simple fact that students can write in there, they can take their own notes, and they can write in this. They can't write in the textbook. So this, I really like this. And by highlighting it in different colors, it visually pops out at them of the important things that they need to know. So for example, this one, they'll be in blue. The principles uniformitarianism, that being blue, they know that blues mean that's going to be what this title is going to be about. And here's just the last page. So what I have them do after they take their notes is I have them do a graphic organizer about the difference between uniformitarianism, catastrophism. I like this graphic organizer, but next time I would have them make their own graphic organizer. And I would have them choose from the different type of organizers, from basic to processes, and let them show how they learn it. Again, it's taking it from teacher-led to student-centered learning. And here's some practice questions here. So this is one of their assessments. Along with taking a quiz, they have a choice to show evidence of learning. It's blank if you notice. Up the top here, they can choose one of these 3 learning targets. And here, they basically can do whatever they want to show evidence of learning. In the Next Generation Science Standards, or the NGSS, one of the things we have to do is have students teach students how to make models. Models is one of those cross-cutting major concepts in science. Right here is for them to have a chance to show a model of a concept that they've learned about, and they get a choice. And this is so much better than a worksheet because this is theirs, and at the end they can be proud of their own work and they can own their education. Again, this is a learning curve for some students because some students don't have the ability to think outside the box. So when some students that are working and going on their way, I can sit with other students and work with them and really help them with this visual piece. Let's go back to the slide now. All right, and we're back here. All right. Really like the idea of just student choice because it is their choice. And because of geology, because again, it's very abstract, visuals are what drives this unit. So I'm using a lot of video clips. I'm going to show you guys a 20-second video clip that I found that I tend to show my students to explain the theory of uniformitarianism and catastrophism. I'm going to switch here. Forgive me for the... All right. So here's this video. I'm just going to show you 20 seconds of it.
If you're a uniformitarianist, then one of the first things you believe happened is that sedimentary layers are formed over 60 million years ago. Many oceans advancing and retreating form those sedimentary layers, and that's how you get the rock layers closer to the bottom. Then after that, 60 million years or so ago, the North American plate hits the Pacific plate, and when they hit, that caused...
All right, that's just a 20-second clip that I'll just show you 20 seconds of it. But realistically, I would show the students the whole thing. Really does a great job of showing uniformitarianism and catastrophism. Let's switch back. Okay. So, why visual literacy? Well, we know that the world is changing so fast. Stated that before. Now we get a different kind of student than ever before. Students that have access to so much information. Okay. There's a spelling error there. Sorry about that. Create models in class. That's the biggest thing. With geology, models are the driving force because there aren't a lot of labs. So we have to make it student-centered and hands-on as much as we can. Again, students live in a fast world, so social media, they're always there. Things are coming to them quickly. And with this interactive notebook, instead of the textbook, it's an authentic assessment. Students can take a quiz, that's one thing, but can they truly explain what they are learning? As stated earlier, it's student-centered. So, in conclusion, the reason for the point of visual literacy is STEM education is growing. And that's just, it's all about science, technology, engineering, and math. It is a growing field, and most jobs in the 21st century will be STEM oriented jobs. Technology has taken over the global economy. If you look at Uber and you look at Airbnb and the growth of the technology boom, it's taking over. So students need to be ready to be participating in the global economy. Again, I say that again, so much information being presented to us so fast. And it's important that we teach students to ask for evidence, research deeper, and ask questions instead of just skimming the surface. I do this as a science, all about teaching about scientific literacy, but we can do this in all of our classes. And visual literacy starts early in the classroom. The moment they are there, we have to teach them what they are seeing and explain what they are seeing. It could be a preschool. And with teaching visual literacy, we are teaching critical thinking skills because with so much information being thrown at us so fast, we can't just take things for face value. We have to really think about it. Corporations do commercials all the time. You have the 24 hours news cycle that is pushing the concept of fear. So we have to be like, okay, we can't just listen to it. All right, that's the information. We have to look deeper. That is our job, to teach our students how to be great critical thinkers. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and you have a wonderful holiday. Goodbye.